The radical left-wing activists are hell-bent on radically transforming our society to fit their image. That first means tearing down our entire society as it is. They have gone after our history, heroes, culture, traditions, and even children, so it is no surprise they have now turned their attention to our pets and dogs. Just another attack on our way of life and everything we hold dear. That's all any of this is. We can either sit back and allow them to achieve their twisted aims, or we can push back against it. Listen to this environmental activist arguing why we must abandon dogs altogether in order to save the planet. Apparently, their carbon footprint is so high we risk our planet and our children's future by having them.
Well, there was a study done in the journal Biosciences last year in 2019 that stated the carbon emissions from the average dog is equivalent to two households' electricity for a year. So we do have an issue here of carbon emissions associated with our pets. And so, like everything else, cars are convenient, flights are convenient, cats and pets are nice to have, but we have to think of the consequences behind them. Well, if we love our members of our family, if we love our kids, do you not accept we have to look after the climate crisis?
Firstly, I want to look after my kids and my pets. That's quite
shocking. That's quite shocking. Do you understand the level of crisis that the carbon emissions are currently in the planet?
You think I shouldn't be looking after my children and my pets?
I'm saying that to look after and love your children, you have to look after your carbon emissions because we are in an emergency. Even the government accepts we're in an emergency. The scientists have said we've passed the safe tipping point. This may mean by the middle of this century, when our kids are just around 30 years old, they may be facing a planet that's facing starvation, floods, and climate destruction. We are in an emergency. We have to wake up to the seriousness of it. Obviously, going to a rescue home is the way to go. However, I'll respond to Anil. I mean, that would mean my carbon emissions from my house doubles for electricity by just doing that one act. Do you not care about the climate emergency? Do you not care about the millions of people in Africa who are at the moment having their homes flooded? Do you not care?
Look.
Listen to the way he's using blackmail to get his way. Not only is he saying if you don't give your dogs up, you don't care about the planet or your children's future, but he's saying having a dog means you are actually responsible for the death of the planet as well as children in Africa. Imagine telling people they are responsible for killing children by having pets. It's a similar argument they use to stop people from having children. Some people actually now refrain from having kids because they believe they are doing it for the greater good of the planet. They believe having a child is a selfish, evil act. It's a despicable thing to say to people. We first domesticated dogs around 30,000 years ago, and we have lived alongside them ever since, hunted alongside them, fought alongside them in battles. They are a paragon of trust and loyalty. We now have them mainly as companions. I had a dog who died nearly 10 years ago now, but he lived till he was 17. I had him since he was 4 weeks old and spent my entire childhood and teens with him. I couldn't imagine those years without him. I took him pretty much everywhere with me, and I was a total mess when he died. Cried like a baby and didn't want to get out of bed for days. Dogs are very important companions to many people, the only companion they have for some. Yet these nutters are trying to force people to give them up altogether. Not only are the activists telling people they are killing children and the planet by having dogs, but they are also saying it's for the dog's own good. This insane article from The Guardian outlines why. Apparently, most dogs are incredibly miserable and locked up at home all day. Some dogs even get out and get run over, so that is used as an argument to abandon them altogether. You couldn't make it up. Imagine saying no one should ever have kids again because roads are dangerous and some children may get run over. It shows how detached from reality these activists are, because if they had any sense, they would know there is no way on earth people will give up their pets and dogs. But activists tried to say we should do away with Christmas because religious minorities find it offensive. Absolute nonsense and lies. And again, there is no way on earth people would stop celebrating Christmas, so it was a complete waste of their time even trying to have it cancelled. If they had any sense, they'd know that. But why not try? There are no repercussions for them. They just move on and find another area to attack. Yes, there are plenty of irresponsible dog owners, and dogs have now become a fashion accessory. with all sorts of hideous mutations being bred, many that sell for massive amounts of money. Absolutely, the culture regarding dog breeding and owning should be changed or regulated, but banning them altogether is outrageous. I'm not the biggest fan of cats because they kill millions upon millions of birds. They are left roaming everywhere and I'm forever scaring them away from my garden. But even they shouldn't be banned. Illegal and exotic pets are a bit different. There is plenty of exotic pets that absolutely should not be kept as pets. The illegal pet trade absolutely needs to be taken down, but that's a different issue. The fact that activists are even trying to have pets and dogs banned should have alarm bells ringing. They are literally looking for weaknesses in every area of our society to exploit and attack. This attempt will go nowhere, like the attack on Christmas, but they are free to move on and probe for the next weakness. They are having massive successes. Just look at what they are doing to our history and culture. We need to call these people out after every attack they make, even when it fails, because these activists are out of control and cannot be left unchallenged.